This morning, we are getting a deeper understanding of Hunter Biden's business ties with Beijing.
Yeah, New York Post columnist Miranda Devine details how the president's son allegedly was gifted an $80,000 3-carat diamond and offered a $30 million deal to help a Chinese-linked energy company. Joe Concha, Fox News contributor, joins us now to react. So, Joe, the big question here is why this matters, because the media isn't covering this story. Clearly, they think that it's sketchy. So tell listeners right now why this is so important to understand.
Sure, Carly. 30 million, by the way, for that thing? Was that the one that the old lady dropped off the boat in Titanic? I mean, my God. The wife is going to have some words with me after she looks at her wedding ring. Anyway, before we go off on a tangent, when Googling the words Hunter Biden diamond right before coming on the air, I'm seeing almost 0.0 coverage of this. And this is likely due to the new golden rule of journalism. Thou shalt not broach, let alone cover, Hunter Biden in any capacity, unless it's to promote his art or to attack so-called right-wing media in making somehow him the victim. Look, Hunter sits on the third rail of journalism. He is untouchable. Despite time after time after time, he should be at the top of the list in terms of scrutiny, because here's why it matters, right? If he's compromised by a foreign adversary, he meant to say, it's a little early in the morning, like China, that does matter. And it compromises the president in Joe Biden by extension. And it raises a fair question. Why won't the current president press Chinese President Xi on the origins of COVID? There are nearly 800,000 Americans dead, more deaths this year than last year, despite having multiple vaccines and therapeutics. It should be at the top of Joe Biden's list in terms of things to discuss with the Chinese, but it ain't happening, all while his son counts his millions. It's a real story, because you know darn well if that's Donald Trump Jr. engaging in the same behavior, it would be at the top of every newscast, every rundown on every other station besides this one and this one, of course.
Here's the line, most stinging line from the piece. This is, of course, sorry, but Hunter Biden's profiteering matters even if the rest of the press ignores it, is the title. But here's the line. Joe Biden wants millions for IRS enforcement. Wonder if that includes actually finishing the investigation of his son's money-making and registering as a foreign agent. And would it include an audit of the president's own income and whether he was declaring money given to him by Hunter? Question mark. That is why Hunter matters. The media are out of excuses. You mentioned if this were Trump, and that's an argument we often make. I would go a step further. If this is anybody other than Hunter Biden, regardless of party, I think the media looks into it because, I mean, let's face it, he's getting paid like a mid-level quarterback here. $10 million over 3 years, $30 million. That's a mid-level quarterback. I think if this were Clinton or Carter or anybody, the media would pay attention. Why just not Hunter? Do they hate Trump that much?
Oh, I just think we saw this movie before, Todd, and I would say Andy Dalton is a mid-level quarterback.
Yeah,
just to bring my Bears into the conversation for a moment. Thank you. He was a little bit better way back when. Yeah, it's not just because, oh, we hate Trump. It's just we saw it in October of 2020. Here, the New York Post has this huge story. Hunter Biden's laptop, the contents of it. The Biden administration doesn't even deny, or the campaign at the time doesn't even deny that the emails belong to Hunter Biden. Yet it not only doesn't get reported, it gets squashed and censored by social media. So that started this whole trend that we see now to this day. Thou shalt not touch Hunter Biden. And it's incredible because it's a real story, Todd.
CNN has an op-ed that predicts Vice President Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg, Transportation Secretary, could run together in 2024 if President Biden chooses not to run. And they say if Biden does not run again, they would run together in 2024 with Harris, the nominee for president, and Buttigieg for vice president. This could put an end to whatever feuding exists between them now, while giving the Democratic Party a very strong ticket, they say, in 2024 that would seem like a natural continuation of Biden's first term. I'm wondering, Joe, if this columnist knows that Vice President Kamala Harris's approval rating is in the toilet.
Yeah, toilet is generous, Carly. Look, that's a checking boxes ticket, right? All sizzle, no steak, all hat, no cattle. Any ticket with Kamala Harris on it would be a nightmare. She refuses to do anything resembling a tough interview. Her performance on the border, by any sober account, has been horrific. The administration's polling at what, in the low 20s on immigration? And she's the one who was put in charge of that. She is toxic. Her approval rating is 28% in the USA Today. You see in other polls like Fox News, it's only 40%, which is incredible when you're only 11 months in. So she's toxic. Her handlers keep her under the political version of lock and key. As for Buttigieg, he has yet to visit an actual port, Long Beach, Los Angeles, Savannah. His solution to the supply chain crisis is to pass the president's Build Back Better bill. So that's that. And Michael Bloomberg, despite being largely shunned by his own party, got more delegates than Mayor Pete during the 2020 primary. So yeah, that's a winning ticket.
And it's not like when you put people that
go
don't,
Giants.
Yeah, thank you. It's not like when you put people that don't work together, like all the problems go away. Look at Biden, Harris. They don't seem to be meshing very well. Joe, we got to leave it there. Giants won, Jets won, Bears won. Good weekend for this.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.